This is big. This is major for all iPhone users. The link for this video is in the description. And as we always say, facts are facts. Numbers don't lie. So, we all know about the iOS 12 update, but Apple just made this announcement. Apple was still selling 2015's iPhone 6s until last week. Then it announced 3 new phones that make the iPhone 7 its entry-level mobile device. There are likely tens of millions of iPhone 6 devices out there, but last year's buggy iOS update made the device, as well as other older iPhones, start showing their age. Fortunately, relief is here in the form of iOS 12. In years past, software updates in older devices were something to be wary of. But at WWDC this year, Apple said iOS 12 will deliver improved performance on devices as old as 2013's iPhone 5s. That is amazing. After spending the last day or so playing with iOS 12 on my iPhone 6, I can say that Apple has definitely breathed new life into the device. One of the most notable changes comes before you can even set up iOS 12. Installing the update was much faster. This time around, I didn't time it, but installing iOS 12 didn't take much longer than it did to update my iPhone 8 Plus. Surely, it's not exactly a speedy process, but if you've ever done a major iOS update before, you will be pleased that things don't seem to take quite as long this time. Once the phone was up and running, I started poking around looking for signs of the promised speediness. It didn't take long to find a major change. Opening the camera, whether from the home or lock screen, was impressively fast. In fact, some unscientific comparing the 6S with the 8 Plus showed that both phones launched the camera in essentially the same amount of time. Given that a few seconds could be the difference between nailing and missing a photo, this is a valuable change. Without even diving into more apps, the entire experience of navigating through the iPhone's UI felt much better. The animation for opening and closing apps felt pleasingly smooth, and common actions like unlocking the phone with Touch ID, pulling the notification center, swiping right to get to widgets, and swiping up for the control center felt extra fluid. The entirety of the UI feels almost as smooth as it does on a new phone, or on a year-old phone at worst. Messaging remains one of the most frequent things we do with our phones, so Apple's promise of making the keyboard pop up faster was something to look forward to. And while Ars Technica didn't see any changes on their devices, my impression was that the keyboard did seem to pop up with less of a delay. It's possible that things aren't actually faster. More fluid animations can do a lot of high delays either way. My iPhone 6s feels a lot more responsive right now. Earlier this decade, smartphones significantly improved every 12 months. Certainly after 2 years, it was worth upgrading a device you use every single day. But today, hardware is becoming powerful enough that it can easily last 3 or 4 years. And with iOS 12, those older phones feel a lot fresher going forward. If you have an iPhone 6s or even older device, don't hesitate to upgrade to iOS 12 this fall. It could be enough of an improvement to keep you happy with your phone for another year or more. That's one thing that I have to applaud Apple for, because people were complaining about the updates, who pay like $1,900, $800 for older iPhones. And once the update pretty much comes in and your phone doesn't have the software to get the update, they're forcing you to get the next iPhone. Now, let's compare that to Android. The thing about Android is, if you want the latest and greatest Android, you could probably get, I'm not going to say it, a flagship phone, the latest version of Android. You can get like a budget phone, and most of them roll out with the latest and greatest Android update. So when you're with iPhones, you're stuck, just with one type of phone. You know, you can't just go to another phone and get iOS. Apple made iOS for iPhone. So that's great that you can have an iPhone 6. And it says here that you could actually go back as far as, I think they said the iPhone 5, yeah, as old as 2013's iPhone 5S. So, man, that's good that you could update those phones and you still can use them. You know, that's big ups to Apple. What do you guys think about Apple and this iOS 12? It's looking to be a pretty good update. Like this video, leave your comments, subscribe.